every person shall have the right to personal liberty, and nobody shall be deprived of this right except in permitted circumstances. When a person is arrested, the law is that you must be immediately informed of why you are arrested. They must tell you the offense they say you have committed before taking you to wherever. Last week we dealt with the right to personal dignity, and this week we are going into personal liberty. Section 35 of the Constitution provides that every person shall have the right to personal liberty, and nobody shall be deprived of this right except in permitted circumstances. Circumstances include: 1. In the execution of court sentence. In other words, somebody has been convicted of a criminal offense and has been sentenced to prison. 2. When the person is in contempt of court. The person has committed the contempt of court and the court has ordered that such a person be arrested and detained. 3. Upon reasonable suspicion that a person has committed an offense and the person is arrested and is being taken to court for trial. 4. In the case of children, for their education and welfare. 5. For a mad person or persons with insanity or drug addicts and all those ones, that's those people that are addicted to substances, they can be detained for their treatment. Now, let us look at this right. The personal liberty is very vital for every human being. And so, when a person is arrested because the police believes that they have reasonable suspicion that you have committed an offense and they have arrested the person, the law is that you do not have, the person arrested do not have a duty to speak when the police wants you to speak. In other words, you can tell the police, look, I don't want to say a word until my lawyer is around, or I don't want to say a word until my husband is around, until my wife is around, until my brother is around, until my pastor is around. Any person at all you want to be around before you speak, you have the right to tell them, look, I'm not speaking until Mr. or Mrs. A or B or C is here. And they have no right to compel you to speak. What we see is that sometimes policemen arrest people, tie their legs, use iron or horsewhip, flogging the person, trying to force the person to make confessions, sometimes of something the person has never done. That is a violation of your right to remain silent. It is also a violation of your right to personal dignity. And so, you should always insist that you will not speak if you do not want to speak. However, if you want to speak, like I said, it is also within your right to speak. Furthermore, when a person is arrested, the law is that you must be immediately informed of why you are arrested. They must tell you the offense they say you have committed before taking you to wherever. And it is their duty to inform you whether your arrest is with a warrant or without a warrant. And where there is a warrant, they must show you the warrant either immediately or within a very reasonable time. And the law is also that the police must not keep you for more than 24 hours without taking you to court, provided there is a court within a radius of 40 miles. That is to say, if there is a court within a place of 40 miles, you must not stay for more than 24 hours in the custody of the police. But where there is no court within the radius of 40 miles, they must take you to court within 48 hours. Now, this is if you are charged or if you are suspected of committing either a misdemeanor or even a felon, as long as it's not a capital offense. Last time I told us a capital offense is murder, treasonable felony, and armed robbery. So we'll stop here today. When I come again, we'll continue to the other arms of this right to personal liberty. But do not forget that you have the right to remain silent when you are arrested, and you have a right to demand the presence of your lawyer, of your spouse, of your brother, of your sister, of your clergy, or of anybody before you can speak to the police. God bless you as we continue to discuss our human rights.